Hello, I'm Daniela, and this is episode 7 of Historical Paranormal. In this episode, we'll take a look at Alaska's mysterious triangle. Since 1988, 16,000 people, including airplane passengers, hikers, locals, and tourists, have vanished. The Alaska Triangle, much like the Bermuda Triangle, is an area of mystery and great speculation. It's located in northwest Alaska and has more unsolved missing persons cases than anywhere else in the world. Sprawling with boreal forests, icy mountain peaks, glaciers, and alpine lakes, this tundra is a popular tourist attraction. In October of 1972, an airplane carrying two prominent politicians, House Majority Leader Hal Boggs and Representative Nick Begich, Russell Brown, and their Bush pilot Don Johns mysteriously vanished in the region while on their way from Anchorage to Juneau aboard Cessna 310 aircraft. It triggered one of the country's largest searches and rescue operation, involving 40 military aircrafts, 50 civilian planes, which lasted a total of 39 days, and they searched 32,000 square miles. However, it yielded zero results. After this incident, Congress passed a law mandating the installation of emergency locator transmitters in U.S. civilian aircrafts. But this wasn't the first aircraft to disappear or the last in the region. Back in 1950, a military craft with 44 passengers had disappeared without a trace, and a Cessna 340 carrying a pilot and 4 passengers vanished in 1990, never to be heard from again. Disappearances without a trace aren't that abnormal in this region. Roughly 4 missing persons reports for every 1,000 people in Alaska occur in a year. That's more than twice the national average. Some theories surrounding this region's disappearances are paranormal in nature. Some blame an entity known by the native Tlingit people called Kushtaka, which is a shape-shifting demon that is said to look like a cross between a man and an otter. Legend has it that the creature appears to travelers in an irresistible form, such as a relative or vulnerable child, to lure the victim to a nearby river, where it tears them to shreds or turns them into another Kushtaka. Another creature blamed for the disappearances is none other than Bigfoot. There are numerous reports of Bigfoot sightings throughout the entire state. Some reports include evidence of nesting sites, a possible Bigfoot skeleton, and unidentified hair samples. Some witnesses have even reported seeing a swimming Sasquatch during their encounters. Some villages have even relocated because of terrifying encounters with this creature. It wouldn't be another paranormal site if there wasn't speculation about UFO activity. In 1986, a Japanese plane was flying from Iceland to Anchorage, Alaska, when it came across 3 UFOs. The 3 unidentified flying objects followed the airliner for approximately 400 miles right through the Alaska Triangle. One of the objects was said to be twice the size of an aircraft carrier, while the other 2 were smaller in size. The crew reported seeing flashing lights following their planes, and air traffic controllers also witnessed something unidentifiable on their radar that was reportedly as close as 5 miles away from the plane. Pilot claimed that at one point, the 2 smaller ships appeared directly in front of the plane at pretty close range. He described the 2 small ships and the mothership disappearing and reappearing quickly, moving fast and stopping suddenly, which is impossible for a normal airliner to do. In order to escape the UFO, the pilot received permission from the ground crew to fly at a lower altitude while making several turns to elude the objects, but nothing he did could escape them. After 32 minutes, the UFOs disappeared, although the pilot claimed that the entire encounter lasted much longer than that. Another popular explanation for these disappearances lie in the idea of vile vortices. Geographical areas around the planet, postulated by American researchers and cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson, have claimed to exhibit extreme electric-magnetic and electromagnetic anomalies. Energy vortexes, also called ley lines, which are theorized to be subterranean electromagnetic currents. Naturally, the most famous of these vile vortices is the notorious Bermuda Triangle, but they are also said to exist in places as far as the Algerian megaliths to the south of Timbuktu, the Indus Valley in Pakistan, Hamakulia volcano in Hawaii, the Devil's Sea near Japan, the South Atlantic, and both the North and South Poles. Various famous places such as Stonehenge, Easter Island, and the Pyramids of Giza are also said to lie on vortexes, and some claim that this sacred geometry is the reason that these monuments were erected in the first place. It is said that these vortexes create all sorts of strange phenomena. They are thought to affect humans in various physical, mental, and emotional ways, such as causing visions, demonstrating miracles, powers of healing, and generating spurts of creativity or profound epiphanies. Many people believe that they can tap into their higher selves when at these vortexes. These places can also allegedly induce disorientation, confusion, and both visual and audio hallucinations, as well as cause delicate electrical instrumentation to go haywire or to malfunction. Some believe that these vortexes are actual doorways into the spiritual dimensions or are gateways to other realms. This might explain why people and vehicles such as ships or airplanes go missing in the Alaska Triangle at an astonishing rate. Some strange things about the Alaska Triangle that may lend credence to the idea of vile vortices are that there's a large concentration of magnetic anomalies, such as the fact that there's a direct disruption of the compass at the point that they're 30 degrees off. In addition, some search and rescue workers in the area have reported having audio hallucinations, most commonly described as sounding like an angry swarm of bees or the feeling of unusually disoriented or lightheadedness. Some readings of the area of the triangle have indeed produced various unusual anomalies and spikes of electromagnetic activity. But a less paranormal explanation is that the reason so many people go missing is because Alaska has vast swaths of remote wilderness. Over half of the entire nation's federally designated wilderness, recognized with the Wilderness Act, was passed in 1964, and around 57 million acres of it, with even more that is not specifically designated as protected land, and much of this nearly completely is untouched by humans. This landscape is full of all manner of perils, including unforgiving weather, hazardous terrain, dangerous wild animals, and harrowing geological dangers, with Alaska being home of around 100 active volcanoes. Considering the massive amounts of rugged wilderness, which are riddled with countless potential hazards, and the fact that many tourists who come here to camp and hike are underprepared, it is perhaps no surprise that a good amount of people may become lost in the middle of nowhere, encounter some danger that incapacitates them and prevents them from getting back to civilians, or are just simply killed by wild animals or other elements. It's also believed that the glaciers can have a lot to do with the disappearances. The glaciers might appear like solid ice, but are actually honeycomb-shaped with hidden chambers. These crevices can be larger than a house or even building. Coupled with the falling snow of the northern climate, it is not unreasonable to think that planes could collide with these glaciers, hence them vanishing into thin air. When considering the unpredictable weather and extremely cold winters, there's a limit of time that searches can be conducted, which also leads to a higher probability that missing people will not be found. In 1947, the British South American Airways BSAA Lancastrian 3 airliner Stardust disappeared from an en route from Buenos Aires, Argentina, to Santiago, Chile, and its fate was unknown for more than 50 years. 2 Argentinian climbers found the plane's wreckage while ascending Mount Tapangado in 1998, and investigators concluded that the Stardust had likely crashed into a nearly vertical glacier, which caused an avalanche that buried it within minutes. When taking all of this into account, some might still feel skeptical that this is simply the elements in nature to blame for the disappearances. Whether or not you believe that the number of missing people in the Alaskan Triangle is due to otherworldly or paranormal factors or just nature itself, it will forever be a mystery and one of the strangest places on the face of Earth. Thank you for listening to this episode of Historical Paranormal. For other episodes, you can check out the Historical Paranormal playlist. And for other urban legends or paranormal topics, you can look at other videos uploaded to this channel or my main channel, Dazzling One. Thank you for listening.